It's just outlandish for us to contemplate. I mean, that's like a jailable offense for people over here. And it's just like the normal business as usual at the Supreme Court that they're collecting millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars from their so-called friends. And so we need to clean that up. And that's why, we said, we're going to start with something simple that the whole country will be able to understand immediately and intuitively. We want a $50 gift ban for U.S. Supreme Court justices. They make $300,000 a year, pay for your own lunch, and pay for your own vacation.
Justice Thomas has received more than $4 million in gifts, largely undisclosed, since joining the court. And worse, it appears to be working. He is currently primed to overturn his own 2005 doctrine so he can side with Charles Koch's network and their oil and gas interests, the same Charles Koch who he secretly vacationed with at the retreat. Or take Justice Alito, whose quote-unquote friendship with billionaire Paul Singer, along with more undisclosed gifts and private jet trips, was followed by a shift in the court's decision to take up Singer's own case. Coincidentally, after Justice Alito took an unreported fishing trip to Alaska with Singer, the Supreme Court reversed their position and took up his case, ultimately leading Singer to a victory netting $2.4 billion.
Yeah, and so look, it's very easy to focus on the corruption of Clarence Thomas because there's just so much of it. But I'm glad that AOC there is pointing out this very cozy long-term relationship between Justice Alito and billionaire Paul Singer. And not just that he gave the gifts and he sometimes has cases, talking about gifts were given, money changed hands, trips were taken, and then they changed their mind. It's about as clear a quid pro quo as you can imagine. And it's not the only case. Paul Singer is not the only person who has had near constant business before the Supreme Court, who has helped to ease the way towards the decision he wants by transferring huge sums of money. And the fact that we're more than a year into all of this, the revelations from ProPublica, and all we can hope is that, hey, maybe AOC and Raskin will mention it on the news, or they'll make some good points in a hearing or something. People should be shouting from the rooftops for massive reform. The reform of the $50 gift thing, which is basically what Congress has right now, that should be the bare minimum of what we should expect. Alito should be off the court. Thomas should be off the court. Kavanaugh never should have been on the court. We should be able to expect just a little bit more from people for whom we give incredible amounts of power that they get to wield until they keel over someday. Any final thoughts, Sharon?
Yeah, there was a resignation, and the names escaped me, of somebody who was doing dirty dealing on the Supreme Court all those decades ago, and the Chief Justice said, "You're out of here," and he resigned. But that was back when Americans were paying attention and members of the court had a conscience. That is no longer the case. I don't know why Alito and some of his friends are so angry. And that's really what I think it's about. It's not me saying that he doesn't believe these staunch conservative things that he's doing, but it's as if he was second choice and he's never gotten over it. And so he's gonna make as much change and do as much as he can and just run right through the judicial system in America and turn everything upside down. That's what it feels like to me. I'm just telling you, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just sick and he's got to go, but how?
Yeah, 100%. And just everybody just remember, and I know that everybody watching this doesn't need to be told this, they already know. The judicial, the consequences for the judiciary is one of the most important things the president has. And I don't just mean for the SCOTUS, but obviously desperately we need change on the SCOTUS. Joe Biden, I believe, has confirmed 200 judges at a variety of levels. That's a lot. That's a lot. It could be a lot more if he has another term or if some Democrat has another term. So just bear that in mind. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?